How is it going, people? Welcome to the stream, welcome to some more Arsenal stuff. Let's talk about more Arsenal today, and it's been quite a weird day actually for Arsenal chances, but actually quite exciting. Many links, many things happening, so definitely there is some interesting stuff to talk about, discuss, and all that stuff. But before that, I really hope everyone has had a great Friday, because let's be real, it's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday, what? Basically, it's Friday, 2 days, and then it all begins once again. In a way, let's be real, but yeah, good Friday. Hope everyone has had a good Friday. Everyone's ready to relax for a few days. Unless you're working on weekends, then it's kind of meh. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Beautiful weather and everything. Hope everyone's feeling great. Hope everyone's ready for everything. Obviously, during a weekend at, I think, 1 a.m. UK time it was, Arsenal playing against Manchester United. We have some more first-team players coming back to the team. We're going to talk about that as well. And of course, we're going to talk about transfers, some players that have been linked, potential deals actually happening quite soon, most likely, because the links are so concrete, and to be honest, if there's smoke, there's fire, you would think so, unless it's a massive smoke screen for another deal that's happening behind closed doors. Who knows, actually, but it looks like more actually real than ever. So we're definitely gonna get straight into that. We're gonna talk about it. So let's be real, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to interact in the chat, comment, let's discuss. If you have questions, go for it. Let's talk about it. Of course, like the thing, all that good stuff. And to be honest, let's not drag this too long. Let's get pretty much straight into it. And it's gonna be all mix and match in a way, but we're kicking things off with Mikel Merino, who obviously has been linked quite heavily with Arsenal in the past few, especially in past few days, but for a week or a bit more than a week actually. And obviously yesterday the news came out, Arsenal have allegedly contacted Fabian Ruiz's camp at PSG. We're gonna talk about that in a second as well. But yeah, it looks like, according to reports from F365 and everything, Football 365, reports in Spain suggest that Mikel Merino will be Arsenal's second signing of the summer. It looks like it's just a matter of when, not if. Apparently personal terms, but the looks of things have been agreed upon, and Arsenal just have to pay the money. The midfielder will demand a fee in the region of 21 million. And to be honest, for signing him, 21 million, that's actually for Arsenal, in a way, it's a pocket change. And that's in a way also a risk on a player you want to sign, you can afford to take. Because we have wasted so much money. He basically is the same amount of money we paid for Sambi Lokonga. And we all have seen how that has gone. And let's be real, Merino is much more established, much more grown up, much more mature. He has the winning mentality. He just won the Euros with Spain, played actually quite a key role in those victories as well. So definitely that is actually a money amount you can actually afford to spend, because we were ready to spend 35 for Fabio Vieira, and we have seen how that has gone. So if you actually look at over Arteta's tenure, the money we have wasted on many signings and paid much more than 21 million, that's actually a steal and a half. And there's no shadow of a doubt he actually will slot into Arsenal's team. But the thing for me is, he will, I would say he actually could be the starting player, starting number 8, if the deal goes through. But for me, still, Mikel Merino is the type of player that, since he's 28, for about 2-3 years, who definitely is not a player that definitely like raises the ceiling of the team or massively improves the starting 11 that we have, but as much as it decreases the gap we have from the bench to the starting 11, because starting 11 is decent, the drop off from starting 11 to the bench is quite massive. It's quite embarrassing, to be honest, because if you look at last season at right back, White gets injured, we have Cedric, Partey gets injured, we have to play Jorginho, he gets injured, genuinely, not gonna lie, El Neni has to play. So it is quite embarrassing. So definitely Mikel Merino for Arsenal is a player it's not a bad signing. It's not a great signing. It's a very decent signing. Let's just say that in this regard about Mikel Merino. Hello Nick. Hello. I am from Latvia. If you know where that is, obviously. Because many people, when I say where am I from, genuinely, nobody has any idea. Not gonna lie, kid you not. But it is what it is. It looks like Mikel Merino will be soon an Arsenal player. These news came out yesterday as well. Well, 2 days ago actually, but I talked about it on stream 2 days ago. We're gonna talk about it today. Arsenal have made contact with the representatives of Boca Juniors and Argentinian midfielder Ezequiel Fernandez. Iki, lol. Ahead of possible transfer this summer, it's believed that Boca Juniors would want around 10 million for the 22-year-old. That is hella cheap. Genuinely hella cheap for such a player. And to be honest, 10 million for such a player, again, for the money that we have wasted, it's a gamble we can take, to be honest. Because 22, he can still develop, he can play a 6 and 8, I think. Or mostly 8, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, let's check. Ezequiel Fernandez, where he predominantly plays, because this is a quite interesting one. However I spell it, doesn't matter. It will open up. Ezequiel Fernandez. Let's check Ezequiel Fernandez. As much as you can trust this website, by the way. He plays... Oh, South America. He plays for Boca Juniors. How much he has played, to be honest? That's the big thing. All seasons. Let's check all seasons. Really? You know? Really? Genuinely. Seriously and honestly. Really? He plays predominantly at number 6, actually. Not number 8. I thought he was a number 8 more than a 6. But he plays number 6 and number 8. And very on occasions he has once played left. This is very subjective because transfer mark these positions get very, very wrong. It's just like Merino and Zubimendi, who mostly play 6s and 8s and they get them mixed up. So he's basically a 6/8. He's played 109 games in his career. I have no idea how he looks, I'm gonna be honest. I have never seen him play as well as Ezequiel Fernandez. But all remains to see. To be honest, Arsenal shopping in Argentinian market is a thing I actually haven't seen at all, pretty much. Yes, we have been linked with Argentinians in the past, but actually getting one to Arsenal, it's a very, very rare occasion. On top of my head, I actually cannot remember an Argentinian in Arsenal's team. On top of my head, at least. If you know, please let me know down in the chat, because at the moment, I actually am struggling to figure one out. Has there been? There has to be one. A youth system, there definitely was one, I think. But for the main squad, I'm not actually... Oh, Emiliano Martinez. Okay, never mind. Emi Martinez, let's be real. That's the obvious one. How did I miss that? World Cup winner, 2 times Copa America winner. But yeah, we don't shop in the Argentinian market that much. And for 10 million, I'm willing to take that bet. Take that risk, because we paid 9 for Nuno Tavares and that went well. So if we can do that, we definitely can get him, because he looks very interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Only because I would like to love to see Arsenal shopping in different markets. Because when Wenger was here, we more or less spent the time in French market. Now that Arteta is here, we are getting more with Edu together, more some Portuguese, Spanish speaking people more. Genuinely feels that way, to be honest, as well. But now with getting potentially linked with Ezequiel Fernandez, this is more of a signing I would like to get, mostly because of curiosity. Not actually maybe necessity or potential for the future, because you could definitely, if you have seen him, let me know how he looks for Boca Juniors and in Copa Libertadores when he plays. But overall, this is more of a curiosity signing I would be willing to take a gamble on. Genuinely, because you see Manchester City shop in that department for quite a bit and it always works out for them. So definitely I wouldn't be against that. How many bald managers in the Premier League this season? Well, there's Pep, there's Egg Hog, so that's 2. There's Arne Slot, so there's 3. Ange is nearly bald, but not there yet. He has very short hair. 3 or 4, no? I genuinely have no idea. Genuinely have no idea. That's such a random question. It's like a trivia question. I think 3 or 4, no? Anyways, according to French... This is weird. According to French football news, Marseille are close to agreeing personal terms with Arsenal's Edu Nketiah. Was it like 2-3 days ago? Maresca died... So 5. So 5, yeah? 5. So a bit more... Yeah, quarter basically. Almost a bit less than quarter of Premier League managers are bald, basically, what you're saying, right? Back to Nketiah, so like genuinely, wasn't it like 3 days ago when L'Equipe reported that personal terms have been agreed upon and very soon they will put in a bid? It's very weird. Either it's very delayed or it's just some it got lost in translation, but apparently, according to now French football news, Marseille are close to agreeing personal terms with Arsenal's Edu Nketiah. So, all remains to be seen what's gonna happen with Edu Nketiah. But it generally looks like by the end of the summer, by the end of the transfer window, he's not gonna be an Arsenal player. And to be honest, the sooner it happens, the better, because then there's more of a chance that Arsenal actually might invest some money in a proper attacker. And I'm genuinely still praying that Arsenal sign a striker. Whether it's Tony, whether it's Gyökeres, someone, but some proper striker, a proper bagsman who can score goals left, right, and center. But generally, it looks like that Edu Nketiah will be on the move. The weird one is that we already knew this. We genuinely knew this from 3 days ago from L'Equipe, and by French football news, it's only reported today. Something doesn't add up. And according to Foot Mercato, media in France, according to whatever that I don't want to try, the defending French champions have never been approached by the Gunners about the former Napoli player Fabian Ruiz. So was Fabian Ruiz now just a rumor for some reason to maybe make a smokescreen for the Merino deal to a bit do quicker? Maybe Arsenal were planning some key moves or something. I have no idea. But yesterday we were linked with Fabian Ruiz. It came out of nowhere, but now it's now being said that it didn't even happen. There was no contact. So who is this guy? Indiscretions. According to our indiscretions. So who is this guy with these indiscretions? Genuinely. Because it looks like there has never been a contact for Fabian Ruiz. Instantly, a bit later on today, news came out that Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Mikel Merino. It looks like this deal is advancing much quicker in a way than the deal for Calafiori, which is very, very interesting. Personal terms have been agreed upon by the looks of things, according to Steve Nye, freelance journalist, transfer expert, football correspondent from transfer.com, Caught Offside, and Anfield Watch. Interesting. Anyways. Hey, I'm not reading that out. I'm not reading out that comment, Terrence. Genuinely not. I'm not reading that out. But yeah, it looks like the personal terms apparently have been agreed upon. So 21 million, when's the bid going in? That's the big one here. And here are some big news. According to reports, basically the teams that got eliminated in like quarterfinals, round of 16, are joining up with Arsenal in preseason tour. Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Martinelli, and Kai Havertz have joined Arsenal on their USA preseason tour. The trio are due to take part in training on Friday, with the hope being they could play some part in the friendly against Manchester United on Saturday. So basically, we are getting 3 of our main guys, you can argue. Havertz maybe not so much. I'm still no chance in hell I'm convinced that he should be our main number 9, by the way. We should go out, sell Nketiah, and sign a proper striker. That is the big thing. How he's coming back. Genuinely coming up. Big up Peppermint. Big up Pepper. He's coming back. There's no chance Havertz. But Havertz actually will be weird. But I want Eddie to be sold as soon as possible so we can maybe sign a proper striker. Still believe that Arsenal will not sign a striker, but they will sign a winger. Still think that way. But in my heart, I believe that for once in their life in transfer window, Arsenal will do a thing that makes sense. Sign a proper number 9. That is the hope, at least here. But yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Martinelli, and Kai Havertz have joined with Arsenal, and it looks like they might take part in the game against Manchester United. Big question is, will they be the only 3? Because there's another player who we're gonna talk. This guy who is flying to England today, this evening, to do the part of the medicals. Will he be joining up with Arsenal before United game? He might, but he won't play, I guess. He might play against Liverpool. We might see him against Liverpool for sure. Exactly. Sell him. Sell Nketiah, get him out of the club, and reinvest in someone else. Exactly. We're gonna talk about youngsters in a second, for sure. But yeah, it's time to buy proven quality and also give youngsters a chance. It's been long enough that we have wasted our youngsters, let them go on free as we did in the 1st of July, and there is now everyone is throwing the hands in the air why Chido Obi Martin decided not to resign. Would you resign if you saw that, for example, at your job, 20 your co-workers in the same field got fired. Genuinely. Question: if you work, you see your co-workers getting fired, 20 of them. Generally, you fire, let's just say, quarter of your staff. Would you resign if they offered you, let's just say, 10% salary increase yearly, and would you resign, or would you look for another job? Because in that instance, there's no security that you actually would keep the job. Because if they can't sack them so heartlessly and not even sell maybe or anything, they didn't write a letter of recommendation for your co-workers. They just got sacked. So why Chidobe Marty didn't resign? It's quite evident in a way, because there is no bridge between youth players and the main team. Obviously, Arsenal have progressed so quickly to such a level that it's very hard to break into the team. We cannot not take that into account, but overall, there is a reason for that. Genuinely, Kozer Dubry, 4.5 million fantasy football worth. Depends genuinely how much Brighton use him. Depends how much Brighton use him. Although in preseason, Peppermint really ruined one of my streams saying he scored a double. He scored a brace in one of the games. That really hurt me, I'm not gonna lie. And I, to be honest, still believe we could have sold Kozer Dubry for about 10 to 15 million. I still believe that. 100% believe that we could have done it, but it's Arsenal, so if it makes sense, they won't do it. Kozer Dubry would make sense, but depends against who you put him in. I think he would be 4.5 million for the bench, but if you look at Brighton, let's just say they play someone random and then you can put him in, then yeah. But if you, let's just say he plays on the right side, he has to play against the left back. If he plays against City, most likely no chance in hell he will get light of the day in that team. So it is what it is. But yeah, Calafiori is flying today to England to do part of the medicals and then join with Arsenal in pre-season tour in the USA. At least that is the plan. Now the question, he obviously won't play against United, although he might be in the stands for Manchester United game. Against Liverpool, still questions to be asked. He might train, maybe play as a sub for about 10-15 minutes. I can see it happening, for sure. Other parties, once we fly back to England, we have to play in the Emirates, that cup we have against Bayer Leverkusen and Lyon. Definitely I can see Calafiori play in one of those games as a starting 11 player. Now, another news that came out of nowhere for today. Federico Chiesa. That Koze Dubry double was a dagger. Yeah, genuinely, that was a dagger to the stream. I genuinely was talking about youngsters, about players scoring goals for Arsenal, and he just puts in, Kozier Dubry scored a brace today for Brighton, and I'm just like, just. That's genuinely how it felt, basically. Genuinely, that's how it felt. Yeah, dagger to the heart. Yeah, that's the thing. Perfect backup to our for Saka. He technically was he? No, Nelson was the first Bukayo Saka. Then Bukayo Saka came up, and he's the Bukayo Saka. But he could have actually been the understudy. To be honest, in my opinion, either you sell Kozer Dubry for 10 to 15 million, because I generally believe you could have gotten that type of money, or you re-sign, loan him out to, I don't even care, Southampton, to Leeds. Leeds might lose Somerville. Loan him out to Leeds or someone like that in Championship. Let him get proper game time. Call him back, and in next season reassess. See what happens. Federico looks older than... German team. Who you would loan him out to? Nobody needs a winger. Maybe RB Leipzig, but they're in Champions League, aren't they? They won't play him. They won't play him much, let's just say that. He needs a team where he's more or less guaranteed at least 70 to 80% of the games during the season. Fulham. Doesn't Fulham have Wilson as a right winger? And someone else? Didn't they sign? Federico looking. He looks at this picture like he has a busted lip, by the way. That bottom right corner of the lip looks hella busted up. But basically, Federico Chiesa, according to sports media set Italy. By the way, speaking of Italian media, this Gazzetta dello Sport, Corro dello Sport, and all them places, yeah, including this one. take all news from Italy with some grain of salt, because they have been talking about Arsenal signing Osimhen. Even the rumors have been shut down completely. They still say there's a chance Arsenal will bid for Osimhen. Osimhen wants to stay. He wants to stay in England, Italy, Napoli. He wants PSG. PSG have called down the rumors. Arsenal will gonna come in a bit. They still are talking about it, by the way. So genuinely, take every news from this about Arsenal from Italy with some grain of salt. Genuinely, with massive grain of salt, actually. But yeah, according to the reports, Arsenal have reached out to Juventus to inquire about possibility of signing Federico Chiesa this summer, as per blah blah blah. The 26-year-old contract expires at the end of the season, and he's currently yet to agree a new deal in Italy. So basically, just like Merino, he most likely would be available for about 20 to 22 million pounds. Mikel Arteta is desperate. Mikel Arteta is desperate. Oh yeah. Give me a winger. Give me a winger. To add quality winger to his squad next season to provide competition for Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. So Trossard doesn't count as a competition for Martinelli. Huh? Thoughts? Would you take Chiesa? Thing is about Chiesa. If you offered me Chiesa, now where is it? Here. If you'd offer me Federico Chiesa, right? Before this injury he got that put him out for 300 days almost, that about 3 years ago, sorry, I would take him at Arsenal. Bukayo Saka and Federico Chiesa on right side or left side, whatever you want to take it, I would take him in a heartbeat. But ever since he has come back from this injury, he has been ridiculed with injuries every single bloody season, and he misses quite a bit of games, if you think about it. See, season before, 16-11, he misses. And his points tally also doesn't add up too much. He now is getting lots of muscle injuries, see? Since that ligament tear. See, muscle fatigue, muscle problem, knee problem, injury unknown, and all that stuff. It's very, very, very now, at this stage, very underwhelming signing, let's just say that. Because Chiesa about 3-4 years ago was balling, in form of his life. He was incredible for Juventus, incredible for Italy's national team, but as soon as he got that massive injury, Juventus' attack started to struggle. Italy's attack more or less fell off the face of the earth almost fully. They couldn't score a goal to save their lives. And now he has come back from that injury. It generally feels like he has lost quite a bit of pace, and he's lacking quite a bit of confidence at times when he's taking players on. Although he's still trying, he's going for it. If he catches the proper confidence sweet spot, if that makes sense, he's unstoppable. He still has it. But now he has that issue here or there where he tends to be quite invisible and waste quite a bit of chances. Although he can cover left wing and right wing. And to be honest, in Serie A, in 235 games, he has 90 points. Which, to be honest, is not that great. Because if you look at it, since he's joined Juventus, and genuinely he hasn't had that world-beating of a season, to be honest. Full on. I think we need Ruiz more than Chiesa. Two different positions, completely different positions. Ruiz is a midfielder, Chiesa is a forward. That's the thing, though. Because we are apparently signing Merino according to reports, because personal teams have been agreed upon. Merino is valued at 21 million pounds. The bid is apparently going somewhat soon in the coming days, I assume after United game. So that is that. We are not going for Ruiz because reports are claiming that Ruiz deal, Arsenal have never contacted PSG. Rumors are. So it's basically, where's smoke there's fire. You cannot ignore that. But sometimes it just gets done artificially. Not like organically or officially, like Arsenal go in, talk to Merino and everything, but artificially someone says something randomly and it gets basically blown out of proportion or something like that. But if we look at Chiesa, genuinely, he has been at Serie A for 7 years now. 7 full seasons. So that is a pretty much decent judging point at this stage, right? Right. So first season, he was 6 points. 13, 10, 19. Best season he has had for Fiorentina, well, at still 10 goals, 9 assists at 34 games. Okay, now he moves to Juventus in the same season, by the way. 3 games, he 1 goal. He moves to Juventus, and he gets 8 goals, 8 assists. Debut season, 16 points, 30 games. Not bad, especially if he's a backup for Bukayo Saka. Getting 16 points out of whatever games he plays, 30, 25, whatever. It's actually not that bad, if you ask me. However, he got that injury here, and as you can see, after the injury, his stats more or less have plummeted down from the face of the earth. Obviously, he didn't get as much game time, but it looks like the more he plays, the more points he gets. Because here he's still hella young. That's what, 6 years ago? Yeah, 6 years ago he was 20. He was very young, he was still developing. Now that he's more mature, established, experienced player, as you can see, his minutes increased by triple, and his stats also increased by triple digits. So basically, the more he plays, the more confidence he gets, the better he performs. Because last season, he avoided injuries more or less pretty much overall. He had about 10 games missed, and some of them were in the Cup and everything. Not all were in Serie A. And as you can see, only 5 games missed in Serie A, by the way. And he got 9 goals, 3 assists. It's not world-beating numbers, by the way. That's the thing. That is the reason why I would want to sign maybe Pedro Neto. Because they both are injury prone pretty much on the same scale. Let's be real. Only thing is, Chiesa would be 2.5 times cheaper. Because for Pedro Neto it would be 50 to 60 million. For Chiesa it's about 20 to 25 million. So 2 to 2.5 times cheaper. The issue with this is, Chiesa is not Premier League proven. We don't know how he will integrate into the team, and Italians in general coming to Premier League is a very much hit or miss. However, Pedro Neto is Premier League established, he's done it, he's still doing it. The injuries obviously is the one that's shutting him down massively. By the way, look at this Juventus crest, man. I miss this old Juventus crest. Here, this one. I miss that old Juventus crest, by the way. Genuinely miss it. Anyways, that's enough about Chiesa, I would say, genuinely. But yeah, Chiesa, if we signed him, it would be a very underwhelming signing for me. I much rather sign Pedro Neto, both injury prone, but Pedro Neto has more to deliver than Chiesa. Because Pedro Neto is something that he still has retained throughout the whole injuries and everything is his explosiveness and quickness and with pace. Chiesa has lost quite a bit of that. So that is one of the biggest reasons. The thing is, the price, obviously. 22 million against 60 million. That is the big drop off in that instance. But it is what it is at the end of the day. We'll see what's going to happen, whether it's going to happen or not. But obviously, since it's coming from Italy, you have to take that with a massive grain of salt, because most of the time, it's just proper porcaria. Anyhow, we talked about him. Calafiori, yeah, Calafiori expected today in London to complete his Arsenal medical. We already talked about that. And here is the promise from Mikel Arteta to Ethan Nwanieri. According to The Athletic, Ethan Nwanieri has been told by Super Duper Mick himself, by the way, that he will have a role to play in the first team squad this season. How big of a role? God knows. Nobody knows except Mikel Arteta. The 17-year-old has one of the best attacking midfielders in the world to learn from. Obviously in Martin Odegaard, which makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Nwanieri is way ahead of his age in the terms of how he plays football. That is the big part. He's only 17, right? Nwanieri is 17. I'm not tripping here, right? I think he signed 16 and he's now... Oh, he's not even on this. Whoa. Nwanieri is 17, right? Yeah, he's 17. Yeah, Ethan Nwanieri is 17 at the moment. So definitely loads of potential chances to grow from. Now, the only worry with me for this is, as much as Mikel Arteta has told Ethan Nwanieri himself that he will have a role to play in the first team, is the fact how big of a role and how much will he get game time. Because, and I'm gonna beat around this, I'm gonna beat this horse until it's fully done. He promised Emil Smith-Rowe in January also a very important role to play in the title race, full on and in very important role. Just not to sell him and keep him at the club. What happened after that? He played against Luton as a starter. He got man of the match for that game. He played one more game And then on occasion he got some random sub-ons, cameos for about 10 to 20 minutes depending on opposition. And overall, that promise that he will have a massive role to play for the Premier League title push, let's be real, didn't materialize. And now obviously Arteta wanted to keep him. Now he again wants to keep him, but there's an offer, so it looks like he will be moving to Fulham by the looks of things. He also didn't play against Bournemouth because according to Arteta, there's stuff going behind the scenes and they didn't want to risk him, and all that stuff makes sense. If you want to sell a player, nobody wants to buy an injured player, so that's why they have to basically preserve him. But yeah, how big of a role? Because he's 17 years old. I would say he will play in cups 100%. He will play in Carabao Cup, most likely in FA Cup. Obviously depends on opposition. If we play in the first round against some Man City, there's no chance in hell he's playing. But if we play in the first round against, again, your Wimbledons, your Leyton Orients again, Yeovil Towns and all teams like that, yeah, easily, Ethan Nwanieri must start. He will definitely do the job and he will not look out of his place. Then we only have to play championship teams again, if we have to play them. Again, he can start, but he might not be as effective. Although whenever he has played for Arsenal, he has impressed me because he hasn't played much, to be honest, only 2 games, and both were their subs. In the game against Bournemouth when we won 3-0, and he got subbed on to be the youngest Premier League player to ever debut, youngest player. And then last season he got subbed on against West Ham when we were 6-0 up to get a few minutes, and that was about it. So definitely the big role that Mikel Arteta at the moment is promising is very, very big question mark, because how big of a role is he promising? However, biggest upside of all of this, I genuinely believe, is the fact that Ethan Nwanieri looks like will be the first team player and he will be getting minutes. But more importantly, the fact that Arteta finally is integrating a youth player from youth system into our team. Because that is one of the biggest issues I have. Because our Arteta doesn't use enough young players in the team. Doesn't matter if it's a cup, if it's a game or whatever, he generally almost never uses young team players. And that was the biggest reason. Because, let's be real, last season in the FA Cup, I think it was, we played against Liverpool. Lost to them, obviously. And guess what? Liverpool played 6, they're under 20 guys. And they beat us. So they just are giving chances. Obviously they had injury problems, so it was kind of forced their hand. But at the same time, their B or C or D team, whatever you want to call it, schooled our, well, C or B team. Because we played our closest reserves and some of our main guys, and they couldn't get the job done. So that just shows. And I genuinely wish Ethan Nwanieri some best of luck. Genuinely. I hope he stays injury free. I hope he balls out instantly as soon as he gets a game, scores, provides assists, shows moments of brilliance, because there is incredibly good player in there. Genuinely, one of the future Arsenal stars once again. Players like that come once in a decade. Genuinely, we got Bukayo Saka before the 2020s started. So we can maybe Ethan Nwanieri is the next player of the decade we can get at Arsenal, because we don't get them too often. Cesc Fabregas, on top of my head, is the last one before Bukayo Saka, who came throughout the whole our youth ranks and came and carried the team through over the finish line. Mind you, with broken leg and everything. But yes, Cesc Fabregas is the last one. I generally remember. So yeah, this is a good example for the young players that are in the lower teams as well, under 16s, under 15s, under 20s and everything, to show that Arteta is going to maybe try and integrate some youth players. Whether it's only be Ethan Nwanieri or also Skelly or someone else remains to be seen, because Skelly is playing in pre-season with Arsenal and he looked actually pretty darn good. To be honest, against Bournemouth when we played, Nwanieri and Luis Skelly arguably were the two of the best players. Obviously Odegaard was there just for fun, taking the piss half the time, genuinely. He was just showboating, it felt like. But yeah, Colquhoun, Nwanieri and Luis Skelly arguably were the 3 best players in the game against Bournemouth. Now against United it will be hell on earth, obviously, so good luck for them with that, and depends whether who's gonna play. So all remains still to be seen. Now, winger department, and something I really realized pretty much 2 days after he was linked with Arsenal. Nico Williams' decision is imminent. Barcelona are ready to trigger his release clauses if they get the green light. Basically, what has happened, and La Liga president also has confirmed, Barcelona has pretty much paid off their whole debt and they can sign players now. They can buy, they can pay wages and everything. Obviously, it would help a bit more if they could sell some extra players and everything in their case, but they have reached that 1-1 standard that allows them now to go into the market and actively shop. And obviously, Barcelona's absolute number one priority is Nico Williams. Laporta has confirmed it and everything. They won't sign anyone until they get a response from Nico himself. And that is according to Fabrizio Romano, which should finally put to bed all the YouTube videos everyone is doing with the title Nico Williams is coming to Arsenal, Nico Williams to Arsenal, and all that stuff. Because he is not coming to Arsenal. He's staying in Spain, he's moving to Barcelona, and that is that. Genuinely, it's pretty much has been proven he's not going there. Fabrizio Romano has said here as well. There is no chance in changing his mind. And to be honest, I also don't see Arsenal paying Nico Williams around 200 grand a week to be a backup. Genuinely, if he comes to Arsenal, he would be one of the top earners and he would be a backup. Unless we use him as a starter over Trossard and Martinelli. Which again, I don't see Arteta doing. Although, if you look at our past records, Arteta has tried to sign left winger, well, Martinelli was in great form 2 or 3 times, to replace him. There has been that as well. Genuinely, there has been that as well. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. No, thank you for actually being here. Big up. Now, that should stop there. And yeah, this is another one. David Raya. Obviously, technically our first signing of the season because he was on loan only. So he's the first signing of the season. But yeah, David Raya obviously won the Euros with Spain and he is out on vacation. Obviously, if you went far in the tournament, you get extended amount of vacation because those ones who went out elimination stages like round of 16 quarterfinals are joining now, like Gabriel, Gabi and Havertz. But Raya obviously won it, so he gets some extended time. He most likely, by the looks of things, will join Arsenal when they get back from USA tour. However, David Raya is yet to return from his holiday in Spain, victory at Euro 2024. However, he's already putting the work in Greece ahead of the new campaign. So that is nice, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice that he has winning mentality and he's already working well. Most likely some of the players are still relaxing and doing nothing. That is nice one. People who work on their craft while other people slack will always go ahead because hard work always will beat the talent. You might be the most talented player in the world and maybe slack during training. Sure, talent will get you somewhere, but another guy might not be as talented as you are. However, he grinds and he works on his craft day and night, and sooner or later he will overtake you. And that's the big thing. That is the big thing. And that's arguably why I think Hazard didn't work out as good as his career didn't work out, as his career wasn't as shining and as successful as it could have been. Because he was doing almost nothing in training according to reports, yet he was destroying everyone on the pitch. Now just imagine if he was also training and keeping him in shape day in, day out in every single training. So yeah, that is it. The best time to work is whenever you can, because while others sleep and you are working, you are getting closer to them or past them or massively ahead of them. But yeah, let's see what else is happening today here. Let's see what else is happening in the news today. Arsenal will finally get 50.6 million transfer greenlight once Calafiori signs. What the hell is this about? We're gonna look at some transfer articles now. Mikel Merino, certainly 50 million. What the hell is this about? Arsenal look football.london. Latest transfer. Edu finally free to pursue the midfielder as the 30th. Oh yeah, Calafiori 37.9 million. Yes, it is wrapped up. Arsenal look to Set to have a very busy August. August? There's still 5 days in July. What the hell, man? What does this mean? Busy August. 5 days in July still. Do something. Both in and out. Pause. On the cards. The Gunners have already completed 2 signings. David Raya, Setford, lol. Also sanctioning loan exits for Tavares and Lokonga. One is with option to buy with Sambi Lokonga, and one is obligation to buy with Nuno Tavares. Mind you, Nuno Tavares got instantly injured 20 minutes into the first training of Lazio. That went well. Academy stars Dubry, Walters have also departed at the end of their contracts. Suarez, El Neni also. Blah blah blah. Enough waffle. Need the signings. According to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, no official bids have been made by Arsenal for Merino as of yet. Though, formal contacts for a new midfielder are expected to start in the coming days. So basically, given that it's Friday today, most likely early next week, most likely after United game. I would assume so, but it is what it is. In the update, we'll also know that Calafiori had taken their focus and with that deal now wrapped up, signing Merino can become priority. So basically, Arsenal are showing that they cannot do 2 things at once. Or am I tripping with this quote? Specifically with this part of the sentence. Because you see teams signing 2 players at the same time and everything. Arsenal are signing 1 at a time. And it is something hella weird, I'm not gonna lie. Wish we could do, let's say, two deals at the same time, so it would be a bit more quicker. Now, the 20-year-old is said to have 50.6 million release clause in his contract, though it has been suggested elsewhere that the value will deteriorate as the summer elapses with just 12 months remaining on his current deal. However, Paris Saint-Germain Ruiz has recently emerged as an option for initial talks held over a deal. Selling a midfielder would first be needed, and it would also be a loan with an obligation to buy. Selling a midfielder? Why does Arsenal need to sell a midfielder? We are already short in that department if you think about it. Why would we need to sell? Genuinely, why would we need to sell? Also, this 50.6 million is a massive cap. Genuinely, I believe so. Because he has those release clauses. There's nothing, you cannot deny that, because in La Liga pretty much every single player has the release clauses. However, he has 1 year left on his contract. He has refused to re-sign. So basically, either he sees out his contract and they get no money whatsoever, or they need to lower the price, which is rumored to be about 20 to 23 million, which again makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Sky Sports journalist shares new Edu Nketiah update and claims he's now agreed terms. We already talked about that. New striker could arrive at Arsenal should Gunners complete 30 million sale as talks continue. New striker! Now that is something I love to read. If it's someone youngster, I'm gonna kick something, not gonna lie. Obviously, the Premier League giants are currently in talks to the French outfit over a deal for league and side interested in 25-year-old Arsenal. The biggest hurdle in the way of the move being completed is Arsenal's 30 million asking price for Edu Nketiah. So Arsenal want 30 million for Edu Nketiah, which is a quite steep price, which is a lot for Marseille to pay out according to Football Insider, which makes a lot of sense, I'm not gonna lie. They already have signed Greenwood, they have signed Højbjerg, we all know that. They sold Aubameyang to Saudi as well. But yeah, De Zerbi wants to revamp the whole team. Now, Arsenal need a new number 9, and this is the piece I want to see. The 30 million from the sale of Nketiah would go a long way in helping Mikel Arteta recruit a new number 9, as the striker exit should also leave space for Arsenal's squad. Kai Havertz played the role for the Gunners last season, but there were times throughout the campaign when the North London team needed a marksman, and that is a profile they don't have in the... There were times, it was about 60% of the season, when if we had a proper striker up front, we could have easily scored and avoided at least... We could have turned 4 draws into wins and 2 losses into draws at least. Genuinely. So we could have gotten way more points if we had a proper striker. Arsenal have been linked to several names throughout the summer, from Brentford's Ivan Toney to Sporting several. That's 2. That's a couple. And to be honest, nobody else. There has been no concrete interest in a specific player, but that doesn't matter. Doesn't mean Gunners will not sign a new number 9 before the transfer window shuts. Which is very interesting, because we are selling Edu Nketiah, and we haven't heard a peep from Arsenal or rumors of actually having concrete interest into any striker. Because if Arteta thinks he can go into the season with Kai Havertz and Trossard and Jesus as potential number 9s, obviously Havertz, Jesus and Trossard if necessary, he is out of his mind. Because out of those three, Trossard is the most clinical finisher. However, in front of goal, Trossard as number 9 leaves a lot to be desired in that finishing department. So Arsenal definitely need to sign a proper striker. And that actually might be a very, very tall order for Arsenal to pull off. We haven't been linked a striker properly at all. Only forwards, mostly. So that will be very interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, by the looks of things, those are the transfer rumors for today. It's very interesting. It will be interesting to see who Arsenal sign next, because every finger at the moment is pointing at Mikel Merino, who is a midfielder. So that will be interesting to see whether it materializes or not at the moment. That is the big part here. Genuinely, that is the big part. Who knows what's gonna happen with that? Whether it's gonna happen actually overall, all remains to be seen. Of course, all remains to see. Everything depends, basically, who we sell, how much we sell, and all that stuff. Because if we don't sell properly, we are screwed. If we sell properly, again, it could actually work in our favor. So all remains, we have to wait and see. Yeah, so it is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, Arsenal are in the market. They just signed Calafiori is flying in for medicals. It looks like it's gonna be here we go soon. Merino is another target. It looks like the next target. And after that, it's dead complete silence. We haven't been linked again properly with a winger or a striker, because talks about Neto have gone quiet. Gyökeres is more or less quiet. Osimhen, let's be real, is not happening. Williams is moving properly. I've been saying that for a week to Barcelona. So all remains to be seen. We need to sign at least 2 more players besides Merino, to be honest. But by the looks of things, it remains on outgoings. But yeah, for today, that will be it for me. Thank you guys so much for chilling. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for interacting in the chat. You have been solely and utterly fantastic. Have a great Friday. Have a great week. And I'm gonna be back tomorrow. And if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up. Take care. Stay safe. And see you all